There we go. So let's start off with any brags or wins. So for Paula and Sophia, this is kind of a mindset tradition that we get into in the group of taking just a few moments to share something that we're doing that is working, something that we've been maybe looking to implement, a new habit or a new level of awareness, and where we've learned something or we're gaining some traction. So does anyone have a brag or a win that they would like to share this week? No brags or wins. Nobody?
Yes.
Yes. Go, Sophia.
My big win is that I got really early to bed this week. So I naturally woke up at 5:36. So I didn't have to use the alarm. So yeah, that's my big win.
Okay, so how are you getting to bed earlier? What's your trick?
I have a timer on 9 p.m. and so I just quit and ended all the actions I'm doing at the laptop or somewhere else, and making me ready for bed. So yeah, that was
okay. Good. Yeah, so a 9 o'clock alarm to turn off devices and start winding down and get into bed. Good. Very, very good. So you're getting your 8 hours sleep and you're up early without it feeling like you're missing out on rest.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Good. And are you noticing any other benefits? I mean, other than you're up early, anything else in the day, or you're feeling in your body, or your digestion, or the clarity of your mind? Is there anything else that you're noticing at this early stage?
And it's so nice, and because I don't get too less sleep, so I'm often, it was I stood up early, but I went late to bed, so I just kind of have to refill this lack of sleep, and it was the last week, it was so much more energized, and it was so naturally to stand up early, so it was there was no nothing I have to charge afterwards. So yeah, and there was no lack of something else.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Good. Thank you. Very, very good win and brag. Thank you for sharing. Anybody else, like something that they're working on and that is working? Yeah, Diana.
It's nothing where I'm working on or what is working, but our coaching session yesterday, that was eye-opener.
Okay.
So I thought a lot of yesterday about it. So more to go into the feeling, out of the mind, no, out of the head. And yeah, that feels great, and thank you.
Good. Yeah, no, you're welcome. It was a good session. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good luck with that. Keep me posted how you go. Okay. So anything else, or shall we crack on? No? Okay. Good. So this week, oopsie, before we go into the habit of the week, we are going to look at our guideline of the week. And This week, our guideline is engage your edge. And I'm going to ask Jean-Phi to read this for us today. Jean-Phi, can you read that all?
Yes, with pleasure. Engage your edge. Growth means change. Doing things that you haven't done before in ways that you resisted in the past. When you are all in, you want to feel the discomfort of being at the edge of your whole self, your comfort zone. Yes, it's unfamiliar, and yes, it's uncomfortable, but it leads directly to your growth. Step into and embrace new ways of doing, being, and thinking. Nice. Let's experiment with new ideas, feel how they feel, even take a few risks. And let's observe and celebrate each other growth in the process.
Okay, good. So this is really a fundamental part of what we're doing, is accepting that we are going to feel uncomfortable, and possibly quite often in many different areas of our life. So just to touch a little bit on Deanna sharing there, Deanna, are you okay for me to mention a little bit about what we talked about, the yoga teaching? Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So so as you know, Deanna's a Kundalini yoga teacher, and she just she had some questions about how to teach online and how to get a feel of what's going on and how to inspire and motivate people. And what I asked her to consider is to be less about understanding and in her head. Deanna's a very intelligent woman, and she's worked for 30 years for the same company as a project manager. Hi, Marco. So she's exceptionally good at organizing and planning and communicating, and very much on the intellectual level of operation. And I invited her to go much more into the feeling. So to feel when we practice yoga, what is moving in the body, where is the energy flowing, to connect with the quality of the chakras and the essence of each chakra, what it means for us. Not just navel chakra is our core, but if we are disconnected from the navel chakra, what are the disadvantages of not being connected? What can happen in our daily life when we are not engaging the third chakra? So a lack of self-esteem, a lack of self-confidence, a lack of being able to set boundaries, connected then to the fifth chakra, a lack of being able to communicate clearly those boundaries and say when things are okay or not okay for us. So this for Deanna is new, unfamiliar territory, and for her to teach from that place is going to sometimes feel a little bit uncomfortable, maybe. But it's also going to mean that it's a growth experience for her to be using a different part of her capacity as a human being. So not just the head, but also the heart as a teacher, and to see how that feels. And maybe the first or the second time where she's done less planning and less thinking about the Kriya and more feeling into the Kriya, that the first few times she might feel a bit nervous, but she might also get some direct feedback through her own body and through the experience of her students that was exactly what was needed. And I'm just thinking actually, Deanna, about Jean-Phi's quote that you wrote down and actually created a social media image from our time together in the desert. What was it now?
Change from doing and thinking to being and feeling.
Being and feeling, exactly. To make this shift from doing and thinking to being and feeling. And this is a crucial shift that we all have to to have to make. And if we want to make it, it means that we have to recognize that we're going to be on the edge of our comfort zone. But that is the exciting area of growth and potential. So it's really the area that we want to occupy, let's say 80% of the time, as human beings who are looking to expand in consciousness and expand their potential. Okay, so look for the discomfort. Don't shy away from it. Look for the activities, the different way of being that is going to make you feel a little bit at the edge of your comfort zone. Rather than, I don't want to do that, I don't want to have that conversation because I don't feel comfortable. That is exactly then the signal for you, I need to have this conversation. This is where I need to go. This is what I need to engage. Okay? And when we do that, then we have the opportunity, like we've done this evening with Sophia and Deanna a little bit, to share in the group. This is what I'm working on right now. This is what's happening. So for me personally, it's really getting clear on my boundaries and trusting in myself that I need to respect them and I need to communicate them. And if people cannot respect them, or if people cannot understand where I'm coming from, to have the confidence to walk away. Say, okay, it's a shame. I would love this to happen, but if it's not right and we can't find an agreement, then I'm not going to compromise myself to the point that I've lost all of my own sense of value in this. Okay, so this is something that I'm working on. This is my edge. It feels uncomfortable. I've been in tears recently about this, but I recognize that's also good because I'm feeling the pain, and feeling the challenge, but I'm also recognizing I can't continue to compromise to the level that I may have done in the past. Okay, so engage your edge, look for the discomfort, and look to get used to living in that 80% of your time of what is the unusual, what is the new, where is the growth, where do I feel slightly, oh, I'm not 100% sure what I'm doing, but I'm going to do it anyway. Okay? All right, excellent. So our habit this week is start your day right. So the first two habits that we've had, earlier, lighter dinner. So the whole idea of shifting our main meal of the day to midday and finishing with a soup or a salad around sunset time, so that we are fully digested, at least our stomach is empty by the time we go to bed. The body can really relax at nighttime. And then early to bed, as Sophia's been working on successfully, allowing ourselves to get enough rest and to be asleep for those crucial pitta hours when the house cleaning gets done, so that we can allow the body to clean out the ama, the undigested matter that has accumulated in the day and in the week and in the months and the years preceding. And this builds our nervous system, it builds our immunity, it builds ojas, which is the totality of digestion, immunity, and nervous system. Okay, so we're now coming to the next part of the cycle, start the day right. So this is a slightly more layered habit, because we're looking at not only getting up earlier to make the most of those crucial early hours, but we're also looking at our elimination, as Kate says, become a pooping champion. So for many people, this can be a little bit of an uncomfortable conversation. What do we do when we feel uncomfortable? We step into it. Okay, so who feels uncomfortable talking about their poo? whether they poo, how often they poo, the consistency of their poo. All completely happy with this? No squeamishness? Jean-Philippe? Okay, so our elimination is essential to our health. Yeah, we cannot not talk about our elimination if we're talking about nutrition and health. Yeah, we can talk about our food, we can talk about what we eat. We also have to talk about whether the body is efficiently getting rid of it. Because one of the first indicators of ill health is poor elimination. So if we're not eliminating, it's a sign of dehydration. And secondly, it is the super fast way to build up armor, because your body is not releasing that undigested matter on the physical level. And for chronic constipation, you will find that there is toxins leaking back into the bloodstream, which can cause immunity issues. So what we want to do, can I just have a show of hands, who does not do a poo in the morning? Paula. Marco, sometimes yes, sometimes no. Deanna, sometimes yes, sometimes no. Sophia?
Every time.
You poo every morning.
Mm-hmm.
Woohoo! We have a pooping champion. Jean-Philippe?
Well, it's a very personal question, huh?
Lean into the discomfort.
Inner circle here.
What, Diana?
We are in an inner circle here, just only a few of us.
What is this? Most
Sorry.
intimate friends only.
All right. So it depends. It depends. It's not something regular, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, Jean-Philippe has an irregular circadian rhythm anyway with his work, so I think it's to be expected that maybe his elimination might be a little bit off. Mine comes and goes, but I have to say at the moment it's pretty good. So if you get into a situation where you are irregular or you're struggling to poo in the morning, you need to up your fluid intake in the morning and throughout the day. So what we recommend is drink as much hot water as you can and as hot as possible, because the heat opens the valves, the sphincters, and really starts to flush everything through. What I find, if I'm really in a bad phase with my elimination, is I add rehydration powders to that hot water, just to also balance the electrolytes in the system. And that seems to help me as well. But you really want to drink as much water as necessary to cause an elimination. Okay, and that poo should be of a size and a quality that really makes you feel light and open in your abdominal area. Okay, and hopefully you all know what I'm talking about. There are some poos where it's just like, yes, I did a poo, or there are some poos which are like, oh my God, I feel amazing now. I really, really needed to do that one. Yeah. So, and this is the thing, we don't talk about this, but there's nods of recognition, maybe slightly awkward giggling going on. But the fact is, we all poo. It's part of being human. Okay. And the quicker that we can get over any awkwardness, also the quicker we can start to ensure that we iron out any problems there. I read, again, I've been talking about this woman a lot lately. She's inspired me hugely. Elizabeth Lesser. She's a spiritual meditation, mindfulness, consciousness teacher in the States. And in one of her books, Marrow, where she's actually primarily talking about her younger sister's journey with cancer and her own journey as her sister's bone marrow donor, she talks about the fact that their mother was an extremely private woman and didn't mention the fact that she had major problems with her elimination until she got to the stage that she was so sick and debilitated from it that she was daily in so much pain that she couldn't stand up for about 2 hours every afternoon. And she died from it unnecessarily. She died, she developed Crohn's disease. And because it was to do with elimination and was therefore dirty and embarrassing and something you don't talk about, she died. And this is just a moment for us to look at the fact that, you know, people do die of bowel cancer. It does happen. And if our elimination is not consistent, this could be early signs of problems. And if we sit on it literally and pretend it's not happening, same also for men with prostate cancer. It's one of those embarrassing secrets that we don't want to talk about. And so many people unnecessarily die from illnesses that they don't need to die from, simply because there is shame attached to that part of the body or that function of the body. And we really need to get over that. We need to step into the discomfort of talking about our health without shame. Okay, so drinking plenty of water. And once you've had your elimination, making sure that you stay hydrated throughout the day. And one of the best ways is to have a thermal flask of hot. It needn't be boiling hot because these thermal flasks are really effective now, but you can make it a temperature that is comfortable to sip on, and keep it by your desk or wherever you work. So in your therapy room, if you're Sophia and Jean-Phi, wherever you are at work, and just sip hot water throughout the day. This is the best way of starting to eliminate armor from the system. Okay, it has an effect of melting and allowing then the armor, which has sort of clogged up inside the system, to be brought back into the digestive system for elimination. Okay, and of course, then we need to be making sure that we're pooing regularly to get rid of it. Okay, so that is my spiel on pooing. There's a lot more detail about it, the quality, the consistency, does it float, does it sink? But for today, it's really about regularity and making sure that your elimination is as consistent as possible, and that if it's not, that you start to face up to that for yourself. Yeah, the first thing is not being in denial for yourself, and then it might also be reaching out for support. So in my own case, my ulcerative colitis, I had symptoms for years before I finally went to a doctor. I was in pain for years. I had extreme bloating for years. I had constipation and diarrhea alternately for years. Okay, so I'm not just talking about this from a book, I'm talking about this from my own personal experience. I'm very lucky that I caught it when I caught it. Yeah, I could just as easily have been one of these people that left it and pretended that the blood wasn't there either, as well as I'd pretended that the bloating wasn't there and the pain wasn't there. And I could have ended up with cancer in my 30s. Okay, so it's really something to heed. Our body is not just a convenient vehicle that we travel around the world for our lives. It's the way that our spirit is communicating to us. So any pain, tightness in the shoulders, a consistent headache, tension in the jaw, tightness at the solar plexus, whatever is going on, listen to it, because your body is telling you something is out of balance. And we're trained in the West to ignore, to push on, to keep working, to be a team player. That was my thing, to be a team player. And yeah, for the men, it's probably even worse. You know, man up, don't look weak. You have to be strong. Don't talk about your problems. Okay. And we compound the problem that is already there by staying quiet. Okay. Any questions on elimination? No? All right. Can I ask who has spoken to their accountability partner this week? Deanna and Marco, you guys don't count because you live together. I hope you've spoken to each other this week. But everybody else, Paula and Sophia, have you connected? No? Okay. I'd like you to, do you have a commitment to connect on a regular basis? Okay. So I'd like you to connect after this call and set up once a week, once every 2 weeks, a time when you are going to connect and make sure, you know, how are you doing? What's going on? How can I be there for you? What do you need? Okay. Diana and Marco and Jean-Philippe, you're a threesome. It's quite unusual that we've got everybody partnered up in here. So Jean-Philippe, when did you last speak to Diana and Marco? Or Diana and Marco, when did you last speak to Jean-Philippe?
Saturday.
Saturday. Brilliant.
A short message.
Okay, that's good. But it's just, you know, checking in with each other. How are you doing? Can I support you? I mean, with me and my accountability partner, once every 2 weeks, we set aside an hour to have a Zoom call. So I have that coming up this Friday, and it's something that I really cherish. It's a real priority for me because I know that every time I have that call, I feel better, I'm clearer, I'm motivated, and I feel like I've been supported, which is really valuable for me. All right. So whatever it is, whether it's your elimination or something else, just practice.
Excuse me, Sarah. Like do you have any news?
I'm so sorry. Yes, I can't see you. Capucine, darling. Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Who are you?
Do you have any news from Charlotte?
I am speaking to her this week, but I haven't spoken to her yet. Have you reached out to her?
I did, but she didn't answer. I mean, it's okay, but because I haven't seen her for a long while now.
Reach back out again. She's there. Okay. I know, you know, with her work, she's crazy.
Okay.
But yeah, be persistent. Yeah. So you haven't had an opportunity to connect with her then for a while. All right. See if you can set up a time, you know, it could be like a Sunday evening or something where, you know, it's the end of the weekend, all of her activities are done and she's winding down and, you know, maybe 5, 6 o'clock. You set aside half an hour or something. Yeah. Sorry, I had the list and your picture wasn't on it. Now I've got you back. Okay. So moving on from elimination to maybe the bigger picture of what the morning is on a spiritual level. Yeah, all of us have enough experience with yoga and spiritual practices to know that it is really the time of day when we are told to practice, to meditate, to do yoga, whatever. So in Kundalini Yoga, we have daily sadhana, 2.5 hours of meditation, yoga, and chanting. Okay, which the idea of this is that you've given 10% of your day to a spiritual practice, to yourself, to God, however you want to see it. And this is a way of sort of balancing the energy. You know, I've prioritized the most important thing, and now the day can flow. And whatever is going to come is still going to come, but I myself am more balanced and steady and less reactive as a result. Now, I've always struggled with 2.5 hours super early in the morning because of my colitis. My body needs that time to still work on the ama and so that I can have good elimination. So I have found for myself over the years on a physical level that is a little bit too demanding for me. But even so, what I do know works is getting up and meditating or practicing pranayama and some gentle physical exercise, simply to wake up the prana, wake up the life force energy, and to allow my mind a place of stillness and openness before the day crowds in. So we all know how much our lives are driven by our phones, yeah, and our devices and social media and our deadlines. But before all of that starts, do we give ourselves an opportunity to just ground ourselves and connect into that part of us which is eternal? That part of us which rises above and beyond that chatter, that noise. Because if we really want to be excelling in our lives, we need to be connecting with ourselves. We put way too much focus, way too much importance on what is out there around us. We worry about what people are going to think about us, what they're going to say about us, what they're going to say to us. And this results in this lack of connection, so that when we are in a situation of not even necessarily conflict, but simple conversation, there are two sides and they need to meet. If I don't even know what my position is, and then I find that I'm meeting them where they are, and then afterwards realize that doesn't work for me at all, what's happening is I'm actually creating problems, because then I'm almost committing to something which, when I do get the opportunity to commit to connect with myself, I realize is not in line with my truth. And then I have to backpedal. And then I feel like I'm letting them down. They feel like I lied to them. So you can see how, if that early morning time is to really just get grounded and connected with myself, everything that comes from that comes from a place of much deeper, authentic connectivity. And that just resolves so many problems, or avoids so many problems in the way that our day flows. There's just a very simple model which for me made it very clear how complicated this is. So if I'm having a conversation with, say, Sophia, there is the version of me that I want Sophia to see. And there is the version of Sophia that she wants me to see. Then there is the version of me that Sophia knows. And there is the version of Sophia that I know. And then there is the authentic Sarah and the authentic Sophia. So through projection and through filters and through masks, we end up with 6 people in a 2-man conversation. And you can see how quickly then misunderstandings, mispromises, expectations, you can see how quickly things can go wrong. So the more time we spend connecting in spirit, the more we have a chance of that authentic part of us being the one that is having the conversation, the one that is allowing itself to be seen, to be heard, the one that is also doing the receiving. And then we find that alignment happens so much more readily. And think about the impact that's going to have on your communication and your relationships. The authentic part of you connecting with the authentic part of somebody else, rather than trying to be what you think somebody else wants you to be, which is your projection. There are so many layers here that it's quite mind-blowing how confusing things get. And so spirit, there's people often ask me, I have this chatter going on in my mind, and how do I know which one's my ego and which one's spirit? Spirit is always simplicity. And we see this in this dynamic. If I'm being authentic, I'm not playing any games. I'm not projecting. I'm not manipulating. I'm not trying to win. I'm not trying to control. I'm not trying to deny or to convince. I'm just being authentic. That is really the definition of simplicity. Deanna, you just unmuted. Yeah, do you want to share?
No, I have a question. You started Spiritualität ist was? Der Satz gerade?
Ah, so if something is complicated, we are coming from ego. And if something is simple, it is coming from spirit. Does that answer your question? Yeah.
It's so easy.
Yes. It really is, when we break it down. But we say, yes, it's easy. When we see what we need to do, it's easy. But doing it, then we're in the dance of the ego, because the ego doesn't want us to go there. The ego wants to be in control. And that's when it gets difficult and complicated again. So we're always in and out of simplicity and complicated, simplicity and complicated. So, but if we just can remind ourselves, does this feel complicated or does it feel simple? If it feels complicated, let go. Try to come back to what feels true for you. Jean-Philippe?
Yeah, there is a quote who say that things are always complicated before to get simple, and simplicity is rare. So
yeah,
it's not so easy actually. I think most of it comes from mind, but the ego projections and beliefs about reality. So
yeah, thank you. Yeah, so the morning time, this is the time before all of that starts. If you really want to give yourself an opportunity for that the simplicity, just authentic being, just being grounded in yourself, so that whatever happens, we're probably in some of the most craziest times modern man has lived through. So whatever happens, it's often referred to as seated in the grounded being. So do you feel like you're sitting there just observing the craziness? Or do you feel like that craziness is swallowing you up? And that craziness is taking over your thought process and the way that you live your life and the way that your day unfolds? If it's the latter, you're not grounded. You're not settled in yourself, and you're not operating from spirit. It's a very easy thing to talk about. It is a much harder thing to do. And what it requires is the discipline of self-practice, personal practice, daily. And when we talk about discipline, it's like doing homework when you're at school. Okay, but the discipline of a meditation practice is the greatest self-blessing you can give yourself, because you are doing something entirely for yourself. We might confuse, when we talk about a spiritual practice, you become less egoic, so less selfish. Your meditation practice should be the most selfish act that you do. Everything else should come after that. Because if you are prioritizing other people and other projects and other ideas over and above your connection with yourself, you don't stand a chance. And then you will be reactive, and then you will be manipulative, and then you will be controlling, and then you will be egoic in your communication and in your behavior. So it's really, you have to set that as a personal priority, and you have to make the people in your life, if they are not getting it, get it. I don't care if you want to have breakfast with me at 8 o'clock. I'm sitting in meditation for half an hour. I can have breakfast with you afterwards. I don't care if it disturbs you if I get up quietly at 6 in the morning, you're still sleeping. This is something that I have to do for myself. And it's really coming from that place of, I deserve to do this. I need to do this, not just for me, but for us, for our relationship, if you're living with somebody, for your friendships, for your work relationships, whatever dynamic relationships you have in your life, they are all impacted directly by your spiritual practice or lack of. So these morning hours are really, really important. And if you're exhausted, if you suffer from a chronic illness like myself, yes, it's ideal to get up before sun rises because this is Vata time, but you have to make it work for yourself. So if you know that you have to be out of the house at 7 a.m. to be at work at 7:30 or 8 a.m., and at the moment you're still having to leave the house to work, then how can you work on these first 3 habits to get yourself aligned so that you have enough time in your morning to prioritize your self-practice? Doesn't mean you're getting up early and depleting yourself. It means you're eating earlier, you're going to bed earlier so that you can wake up earlier naturally to have that time. So it starts already at lunchtime the day before. Have your good meal then so that you can have your light dinner, you can get to bed, you can sleep enough, and you're waking up rested. And that completely changes the quality of your practice anyway. It changes the energy that you bring to it. It changes the whole motivation of coming to it, because it's not, oh God, I want to snooze, I'm exhausted. The sun's rising up, it's starting to get light outside, and you're excited about the day. Okay, I'm doing a lot of talking. I'm going to shut up now. So I'm going to put you into rooms. And I just want you to take, Jean-Phi has to go. Okay, have a good night, baby. Stay safe at work. And we'll see you soon. All right, so I'm going to put you into rooms now. And I just want you to look at this big picture of these first 3 habits, because this is really the foundation of everything that is going to come later. Main meal at lunchtime, earlier, lighter dinner, getting to bed earlier so that you're waking rested so that you can start the day right. Okay, I just want you to have just an open conversation. Okay, there's no structure, there's no timing, other than you've got 5 minutes just to have a conversation together about how this is working for you, what's not working, what you realize, what you need, any questions that you might have. Okay, so just, it's an opportunity to exchange among yourselves about these first 3 habits and how you're understanding and integrating them. Okay, does anyone have any questions before I put you into the rooms?
I just want to say I just leave and go 2 stairs down. I have to find the Zoom link fast. Is it
For me, Marco, you can stay together now.
okay.
If you want to be 3, there'll be 3 of you in a group. It's not a problem.
Okay. So
Yeah, you can.
okay.
Relax and stay where you are. All right.
And so
Okay.
how much time do we have?
I think probably 5 minutes is enough. Does that
Okay.
feel okay for everybody? Yeah? Okay. So 5 minutes just to have a conversation. It's not me first, then you, and timing and blah, blah, blah. I'll just bring you back at the end of 5 minutes. Keep an eye, just so that you know roughly where we are. And
I'm not sure. A special topic?
so the first 3 habits, so everything that we've done so far. So earlier lighter dinner, which starts with lunch, how you're doing with getting to bed earlier, and then bringing us through to this topic of, so it's basically, are you doing what you need to do in order to give yourself the right start to the day? Okie dokies. Everyone okay? I'm gonna pop you in your rooms now. I will see you in 5 minutes' time.
Fühlt sich immer ein bisschen an wie bei Star Wars. So.
Okay, so how did that go? Any sort of sharings that brought fresh ideas or fresh motivation or anything that you'd like to share in the group?
So we talked about the different options to set like triggers and to start the evening routine. So I asked them if they have another idea than just setting the alarm or something like this. And Marco said, there are lights, and that could be dimmed at some special time or something like this. And that is one thing we shared.
Okay. Yeah, it's a nice idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, now the blessing is we have all of this automation in our homes and technology that, yes, you could, in theory, set dimmer switches, other ways to have it happen for you. What was that? Ah, there we go. On the phone. Cool. Yeah. Yeah, and dimming the lights is a very strong trigger to be slowing down because it impacts the pineal gland. Okay, which is involved in the creation of melatonin, which regulates our sleep patterns. So yeah, good idea. If we don't get to bed on time, we really don't stand a chance. So it's really a big societal habit that is a hard one to break. Capucine and Paula, where did your conversation go?
Where we talked about where we were and how we were doing. Well, there's really not much to say. Like I'm still sleeping like a log in the mornings, even if I'm doing good with the early light dinner, early to bed light dinner. So I'm just gonna do this, and hopefully when we go back to a warmer season, we'll be better at getting up early.
Yeah, your body could just be hibernating a little bit at the moment because it's not used to.
That's what Paula said.
I have the feeling as well that I mean the habits in the end everyone's going to adapt them slightly to whatever needs they have or the circumstances, like you were saying with about your morning. And yeah, if you need like the winter rest right now, then maybe that's what your body needs. But also it's more difficult to get out of bed when it's so chilly.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the society has evolved that where we don't recognize seasonal changes anymore. So we don't really allow time, and we've disconnected from that own inner wisdom. So winter is a time for being more cozy, being more at home, getting more sleep, getting more rest, but using that rest time consciously for renewal, so that when spring comes, we've done a lot of the inner house cleaning work of, you know, putting to bed what needed to be closed off from the year before. What are projects that need to be closed? What are emotions, relationships, conversations that need to be rounded off or let go of? So that we can start spring with a little bit of a cleaner plate. And so that's one of the benefits of winter being cold, is that there isn't the desire to be outside, to be so social, to be rushing around so much. That's what we have summer for. Yeah, that's the social time, that's the extrovert time, that's the pitta, the upward energy of the fire of the summer. So here we're in Kapha Vata time. So Kapha downwards, earth, water energy, and Vata sort of the movement of the air, the dryness. But that Kapha in particular is an invitation to really ground, and you may find that there's a heaviness and a tiredness, which is natural, that needs to be honored, particularly if you've been used to living in the tropics, as both of you two have over the last few years. Okay. Yeah. So, Marco.
One topic maybe would be interesting as well. So with the lights, we are using this Philips Hue lights, and you can change the color temperature. And I think this is just really great for the winter. So normally over the day, when you are a little bit tired, you can make the light a little bit more blue. But also on the other side, to get a little bit down in the evening, you can make it a little bit warmer from the light. And I think this really, I couldn't believe before that it has such a big impact to the body.
Yeah.
This is really interesting to get some power over the day in the winter time, and also to come down in the evening.
Yeah. Yes, it's nice that, you know, we can kind of play around with these things now a little bit. So yeah, that's an interesting insight. I mean, I find myself going for warmer tones on light bulbs. I hate these new low energy white lights. It's just, for me, horrible. Yeah.
But you don't need the color versions. So there are versions that are just white, but different white colors.
Okay. Yeah. And candles.
Yeah.
Just light a couple of candles, and that gives a really nice, cozy, warm, calm, grounded atmosphere at home.
Immediately.
You what? You feel it immediately? You
No, I fall asleep then.
Okay, well, that's good.
With candles.
Well, yeah, Marco's there. Put them somewhere safe to burn. Yeah. So yes, look at your wind down routines: self-massage, a bath, soft music, reading rather than watching a movie. Think about what your nervous system needs to switch off, so that you are supporting starting the day right, so that you can have a meditation practice or a pranayama practice, or just time to journal, to start your day intentionally, so that you are not starting it from a reactive, overstimulated, stressed point of view by going straight onto social media and absorbing all that crazy negativity. Okay, So our next meeting is this Saturday at 11 your time. Oh. You prefer it to be at 9?
Not saying anything. well, it would be easier, but
Okay.
this is mean. I'm gonna watch the recording.
So I can't join at 11.
No? Okay. Well, I hope that I will see maybe Sophia and Paula, and we'll see who else in the group can make it.
Marco could join.
Good. All right then. Well, great to see you all. Thank you for being here this evening. Good luck with your morning routines and your elimination. Keep sharing. Get used to getting uncomfortable.
I've grown up with my father and my brother, and I don't understand why people are uncomfortable, because they always talk about poop and farts, and my brother is 37 and he still sends me audios of his farts. It's not a couple in my house.
Yeah, there's degrees of being comfortable with it. Your family is on that end of the spectrum. Yeah. Okay, good. The more that you practice it, the easier it becomes, and then you expand further. It's like anything. Yeah, adaptation. All of this is adaptation. So what feels uncomfortable, you practice it, it feels comfortable, and then you can move on. All right. Have a great few days, and I'll see you on Saturday.
Thank you so much.
That's
Bye.
Bye.